What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast, the Monday Night Wave, and this is the special edition King of the Ring episode.
And
if you
Queen.
Feel me.
Yeah.
And Queen. You're not Queen of the Ring, too.
Shout out to the Queen. Yes.
Before we get into the details and nitty-gritty of the pay-per-view and whatnot, I'm going to pass it off to the one, the only, Mr. Hero. Take it away from here.
Yes, some call me the King of Gorgeous. Some call me the Wild Card. Some even call me Mr. Sexy Ass Lottery. But the name's Hero, mon ami. Remember it.
Hey. I didn't know this nigga.
Hey, it's Hero, baby. Welcome to the Monday Night Wave. Oh, glad to be back.
I thought this nigga was doing Val Venus. No. I was like, well, this nigga's talking all seductive in my ear right now.
Oh, choppy or pee-pee? No, I'm good. I'm real good on that.
Oh, fuck, bro. When I sent that clip to the group chat, I was like, what were we on? Well, who did this shit? And why does he have a samurai sword to cut meat in the ring? Like, what part of WWE is this? You know how racist that shit is? Like, you can't use a butter knife. You can't use a kitchen knife. Give this man a samurai sword to chop meat. That's fucking crazy, bro.
Because Val Venus was seducing the Asian lady. I can't remember her name. And that was around the time I was just getting into wrestling. So it's all a fever dream to me. Like I completely forgot about the choppy. Like that shit is mad racial. And sexy. It's some freak man racial shit. He a 69 god.
69 god. Freaky ass nigga better stay your ass inside. That's crazy. Fuck, man. That's great. Yeah, before we get into the pay-per-view, let's go over the news real quick. There wasn't nothing too major this week. I believe the biggest piece of news that we got this week was that SummerSlam in 2026 will be held in Minneapolis, Minnesota for 2 nights on August 1st and August 2nd. How do you feel about the SummerSlam being spread into 2 nights? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we talked about it off air. I'm okay with it. I do not believe, because there's already tweets and stuff like people like, oh, just wait until they do this with Survivor Series or wait until they do 2 nights Rumble. I don't think they're going to go that route. Like we talked about, I think this was like a way of them apologizing to Minnesota or Minneapolis, but like, yeah, we're sorry that Vegas took your Mania moment, so we'll just give you 2 nights, so that way your city can gain all that income that you would have missed on a Mania. And also, you know, the tagline has been biggest party of the summer, and you know what defines a big party than a party that lasts 2 days? I feel like a party that lasts 2 days is a big ass party that is the biggest party of the summer. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine. And also it gives more matches so that people don't get upset if certain matches don't get cut. A la of last SummerSlam when Becky and Trish got cut, and we got the whole, the lemonade or lemon shirt that that Becky had when life gives you lemon shit. So it gives us more matches. So everyone's favorite can get some matches. Minneapolis, they still get their money. I think it's a way for everyone to win. And if it does do good, maybe they'll continue to do it. But honestly, this might just be them just again like throwing a casual or consolation prize because Las Vegas stole their shit.
Yeah, we did talk about it offline, and I will say, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the 2 nights. I think Mania is an exception because of so many storylines being tied into Mania. To where like you want everybody to kind of like come to a conclusion at Mania, or at least close. SummerSlam as a 2-night event, I'm more concerned with the aspect of like what the storylines are going to be, and are there going to be powerful storylines 6 months from Mania? Like Mania is like a whole year almost of like build up and whatnot, to where can SummerSlam replicate that same feeling?
I think they're trying to. I think they're doing a slow build of trying to replicate that. Like if we basing it off this recent King and Queen of the Ring, like how a couple days ago, Triple H finally announced, like, yes, the winners will get a title shot at SummerSlam, which we talked about on a previous episode.
Yeah,
So
we did. We
I
did.
think that's them. Uh, that's them setting the building blocks to make SummerSlam feel as important as a Mania. So yeah, so from April, which is Mania, so from April to August, feel like that this is them trying to make everything feel more important for those storylines.
Uh,
That
my just slight issues just with the way WWE like builds talent, not necessarily like the talent themselves, but more so. Okay, for example, Andrade just came back. He's made appearance, and then now we're doing like vignettes for SmackDown. Like we haven't actually built anything. Like they take a really long time to develop the talent on TV before we get them into like a major like segment. They'll go through maybe 1, 2, 3 squash matches or competitive matches, and then we'll see like somebody like bump into him, and that's when like the story like happens. But that can be over a course of like 3 months, 2 months. So if we can not fast lane development, but fast lane like these stories with some of these talent, I think it might work. But I just don't know if WWE is going to change their formula. We are in the Paul Levesque era, and things have been a little bit different. A la the title opportunities for the winners of King and Queen of the Ring. So we are seeing a little bit of change. I just want to know. Well, I guess I just have to watch or wait and see if the formula is going to deviate from the VKM eras.
Yeah, we just gotta let it play out. And also that's 2 years, or it's 2 years from now, so we'll see.
It is 2 years away.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's and that's they didn't say anything about 2025 SummerSlam, so like honestly, it could just be
Right.
it could literally just be a one off,
Right.
just to make Minnesota happy, or Minneapolis, wherever is Minneapolis is in Minnesota. I'm not sure. Okay,
Yeah, it's
anyway,
Minnesota.
yeah, just to make them happy, because again, like they're like losing a 2 night Mania is a lot of revenue that city just lost. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I think it
Was
could
it
just
announced? Was it like before they switched to Vegas? Was it announced that it was going to be in Minnesota? Like, did they make like, oh, Mania's going to Minnesota? Like a
no, it
little
wasn't an
promo.
official announcement, but it was one of those things where it's like they are in the top bidding, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Vegas
Vegas
came
came
out of
out. Yeah,
nowhere. Well, I wouldn't say out of the
craziness.
blue. I would say it after Mania, after night one, and seeing how cold and shit everyone was, and seeing all the complaints. Then all of a sudden, Vegas kind of like came out of nowhere. They're like, "Hey, we're hot here in April. We have decent weather here in April. What if you guys just came here?" So,
I do have a question, kind of like more so pertaining to Vegas as a venue, but with Mania going to Vegas next year, where do you put Double or Nothing? Where do you? Because they're not going back to back. That's kind of like a no brainer. Like you wouldn't do that. So where would you place them? Like what's a
uh,
big enough area that kind of makes sense?
well, man, I don't know. Where is double or nothing is usually in the MGM, right?
Right. So usually in Vegas.
Weird. Oh, I mean, I think they could still hold the same revenue, especially if they have the same, like, if their trajectory, if AEW's trajectory and shit goes up, and we get some of these injuries, like MJF, and get some of these people back. Yeah, I don't see them. I don't think TK's ego is going to let him be kicked out of Vegas or nothing. And if double, and Mania's in April, so it's still months after. So I don't know. I think it'll be fine. And Vegas is never going to complain about getting more money, from
And
fans and shit.
yeah, because the 41 will be April 19th and April 20th. They kind of pushed it to like the middle of like April.
Yeah, to avoid the NCAA and stuff, and yeah, it's like
Right,
right after college playoffs, but right before NBA playoffs, they found like a little
right.
sweet spot.
I think that's just tough. I don't know if I personally would like go back to back with Mania. Like, there's just no way. Um, in that aspect, I would think that. Damn, I guess you can't really do that because there's playoffs and depending how or who makes it. But I was like, Madison Square Garden. I think like moving into like a bigger city that kind of like a wrestling city would make more sense. So I think somewhere on the East Coast between Philly, New York City, somewhere around there, they'll probably do something, or they just stay in Vegas and just like say, "Hey, no, we was here." Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they pivot around that, because this Mania in Vegas is gonna be fucking crazy. That's gonna be a great fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah,
King of
let's
the
get into it.
Ring. In this one was Jeddah, Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, no, it's Jeddah.
Yeah. What were we overall thoughts before the premium live event? How did you feel going into it?
I felt. I mean, I thought it was gonna be a good pay per view. Similar to Backlash and Elimination Chamber. Well, I would say a little, not as similar to Backlash and Elimination Chamber. The matches didn't feel super. I didn't feel like I could predict them as easy. But at the same time, like even if I could, I knew I was still going to be in for a good ass show. And tonight or yesterday, this PLE, but our time is my time. I don't know what day it is on this show. But it was overall it was a good ass card. Every match performed. Every match got time. I'm really liking. For the B and C PLEs, I'm really liking this 5-6 match formula because it's giving everyone time. Like the Becky and Liv match got some good ass time. Nia and Lyra went longer than I expected, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So coming into it, I was just like, I was trying to just stay off of Twitter and hopefully avoid spoilers.
Yeah,
but, it is what it is because the time zone difference. But yeah, my overall thoughts was I expected a good show. And I got a good show. The crowd was cool. I think overall it was just a good show.
Yeah, I will go in the same sentiment. I don't think it was better than Backlash. I think Backlash felt way more exciting to watch just because of the crowd interaction. But I do think it was still a good pay-per-view or premium live event. There weren't as much predictability, like you said, but I do think some matches ran a little bit longer than what I would have ran them, or I just felt like, damn, my fatigue is kind of setting in. And I'll explain that as we talk about the show in general. But overall, definitely a good show. I liked it. I don't have too many negative things to say about this pay-per-view. With that being said, let's jump into the first match, which was Jade and Bianca versus Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell for the women's tag team championships. Overall, first things first, love the goddamn outfits that Jade and Bianca had on. The pink was hitting for your boy. That shit was tight.
That is the first thing I wrote. Is I liked all 4 outfits. That's the first thing I wrote in my notes was I love all these outfits. Like they all got that shit on.
The match was good, and I love this, of course, because Jade and Bianca, but also like we got Candice and Indi on like a pay-per-view. Like this is also just another notch in like the Levesque era of like, hey, we're gonna give people who don't really have a spotlight and showcase. Whether or not they win or lose, we got 2 talent that wouldn't have been used otherwise, and we're gonna put them right at the beginning of the show against these women tag team champions. And it was a great performance from all 4 women. I have nothing bad to say about this match. I think it was great.
Yeah, this was one of Indi's best showings, especially since she got on the main roster. Really proud of Indi. She looked great. Also, it's what was cool about it, or what's good about it, and it's just testament to this new era, is that this wasn't just some random match that they just threw together like randomly. Like there was a thread, because the whole reason Bianca had a knee injury was all the way from her match with Candice. So they just had a thread, and they had a story, and they it cultivated into this tag match, which was a good tag match. It was a good match.
I will say there's a part that I dislike. It's more so with the commentary, and they did it throughout the entire pay-per-view. It's just like the multiple mentionings of like that knee, or she's hopping on one leg, or I don't know how she's gonna get that weight up on that knee. It's like, I get it, motherfucker. Yeah, the knee is a problem. It just takes you, for me, it takes me out of it a little bit. Like, yes, bro, we all see that they're targeting the knee. Let's focus on, let them tell the story. I
Yeah.
see it, but god damn it, y'all keep reminding me about this goddamn knee. And it kind of feels like when you it feels, I don't know, like a sports setting when you step onto like a basketball court and it's like, you know, that guy's the number one player in the country. He's going to UConn. It's like, well, let me see this play out. Like, I know, but let me just, fucking watch the fucking match.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I feel like they did say it too. Oh shit! I thought that fly was in the home. Oh man, I was about to freak out. They did say it. They did mention it a lot, like literally every 5 seconds. Um, I did notice that, and I feel like that is them trying to maybe be more sports orientated, because I feel like if you watch a basketball game and it's someone has their own version of the flu game, they'll talk about it every fucking 3 seconds. Every time he gets the ball, he's like, man, he just looks sick. Shit like that. It's like, oh, we don't know if that foot's like, Anthony Edwards' foot is kind of hurting, but he could still get that layup. Like, yeah, they just keep mentioning it. I feel like that's the route
yeah,
that they were kind of aiming for. Which, in like, granted, this is a sports orientation, like, it's wrestling, so it's sports
it's
adjacent.
sports entertainment. Yeah,
Yeah, but
absolutely
also it's soap opera adjacent as well. So yeah,
true.
I feel I can understand why you're saying, like, oh, sometimes it might take me out, because again, it's like, it's a movie. Like if we're watching the Avengers and all of a sudden someone keeps saying, man, fucking Tony's heart though. Tony has that bad heart.
Thanos got 3 stones.
Like,
He's getting that fourth one right now. Like, goddamn, yes, we
yeah,
know danger is happening.
yeah, exactly. So I can see what you mean. Yeah, they just need to find a perfect balance for it, and I think
Yeah, for
they're
sure.
still testing it. Just like with the camera angles, I feel like they're just still filling shit out every.
Yeah, they are changing. Like, there has been subtle like production changes that has been happening on the last, the Levesque like show. So as far as visually, like, they're killing it that in like that sense too. But back to the match, like, yeah, it was a great match.
There's some real cool
The
tag team offense on both sides. Like,
yeah. What did you put down? What you got?
uh, well, yeah, okay, so yeah, there was a part where they're working Bianca's knee a lot, which set up Jade for the hot tag, which she had a real cool
Mm-hmm.
hot tag. Again, she's shown so much improvement, um, which I will talk about later in a different match. But honestly, I didn't write down any particular spots. I mean, the very last spot, like the way
Yeah,
they
that's the one I
win
got. The
is,
wheelbarrow spot was
yeah,
fucking
that wheelbarrow German was fucking fire. Yeah, it was like a
fucking
wheelbarrow
clean.
German suplex, and
Yeah.
that shit was hot. And the announcers, they mentioned it too. They were like, yeah, they both these ladies won. We didn't see a Jaded, we didn't see a KOD. We don't know what the hell that move is called as of right this moment. That might not even be their real move. That might have just been like, yeah, they might be on some Gunther shit and like, let's just test something out. So
I do.
yeah.
That would be dope to see, like, them come up with like their own like tag team finish, like similar to like a 3D or something like that. Like, I don't think I've seen that in women's like wrestling, let alone women's tag, to where like they have a signature like tag finish.
Kabuki Warriors had one, where Asuka like holds the chick and then we into the insane elbow, and then
Oh
I
yeah,
think
okay, yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
I know there's at least two more that I can name, but I can't think of at the moment. But yeah, as far as the women, and again, that's like that goes back to like our previous conversations, where it's like, if they build up these women tag teams and actually like flesh out stories and flesh out these characters, we could see more double moves and
Yeah,
shit like that. Um, but yeah, this match was good. It was a good match. Again, praises to Indi and Jade, because Indi has looked rough more times than not, but this was one of her better matches on the main roster. She
it
looked
was.
great. Jade is continuing to grow. She looks great. And then Bianca, amazing, and Candice is in her bag as well right now. She's a way better heel than she is a face. Yeah, it was an overall good match. All four ladies cooked.
Yeah, the women are
All four
improving for
ladies
sure.
did they thing. I don't want to say they cooked. It sounds like that Chiefs punter shit. Ladies don't have to cook. You can do other things. I'll be in the kitchen for you.
Now we gotta turn this up manly. Yeah, all four ladies mowed the lawn. All
Yeah,
right, you gotta give it some.
yeah, but they did it on their own
All four ladies
fucking
change a
will.
tire.
Yes, on their own volition. They wanted to do it.
With that being said, let's jump into the next match, which is Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the the women's
Yeah,
championship or the
women.
world
It's the women. It's the heavyweight world's heavyweight champion.
world's heavyweight champ or women's world heavyweight champion?
Yeah,
I think so. This one
they
off the rip.
yeah
Once again, outfits are fucking dope.
yeah.
I I hate the fact that they have to be fully dressed, but these women did the best that they could with their attire, like 1000%.
Yeah, you can see the evolution in the gear.
Damn,
Like,
that sounds crazy.
yeah, I understand what you mean though. But you can see, yeah, because my wife and I were talking about it. You can see the evolution in the gear. Like, if you watch the first two Shouty shows, like, well, the first Shouty show didn't even have a women's match, but the second one, it's like they're wearing
They got the
pants, and, like,
t-shirts.
yeah, just big ass double, triple XL t-shirts.
T-shirts is crazy, nigga.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah,
T-shirts with the leather under, like bro, it was 90 degrees outside, so it had to be like at least 100 inside. You got these women in t-shirts and fucking leather.
yeah, big ass
Insane.
t-shirts. Like, they just stayed the night at somebody's house or some shit. That shit ain't cool. But like now that they actually get to wear gear and fucking, like, show their personality through their gear as usual, but obviously
Right.
to the standards of that country or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, no, gear was hot, gear was lit. Liv, look, she pulled out her Britney Spears gear again, and then Becky. It was giving me Panic at the Disco vibes. Or I saw a lot of tweets about comparing her to that episode of Bugs Bunny when he was a conductor.
The conductor, that's exactly what I saw. That was it. That was my comparison. Like, every time I see her, she reminds me of Bugs Bunny as the conductor.
Yeah, she had that shit on though.
She did. She definitely did. And it looked good. I would come up here and be honest, like, man, that shit did not look right. But it worked. They definitely did the best that they could. And I also like the subtle hints of, like, with Becky, as far as, like, the man in the tux, like in Saudi, like that's a slight, I feel like it was a slight, like, not a shot, but hey,
Yeah.
it is. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is, but I think that it was like
Maybe a small statement.
sort of subliminal. Yeah, maybe a small statement. We'll go with that.
Yeah. The announcers mentioned in the early, as the match was starting, yeah, Becky is 4-0 against Liv, so they're playing that. I mean, we already knew that kind of story for the most part, but they're emphasizing, like, yeah, Liv has never beaten Becky in all the years that they face, and this was Liv's first 1v1 for a title in 2 years, mostly due to injury as well as whatever the hell. But I wrote, they're having a fucking solid ass match. It was good. No crazy spots to really write about.
No.
Not until Dom comes out, because eventually Dom comes out. Which, if you guys were watching the pre-show, Dom, as Liv and Byron Saxton were talking, Dom shows up and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I traveled all the way here just to make sure you don't win mommy's title." And which is some cap, because if it's cap, like, what. Because then you're like, you don't trust Becky? Becky rarely loses, like that.
And that's the shit that kind of like tripped me out, is that, like, with the finish of the match, it was like he slid her a chair. It was like, if there's anybody in the women's locker room who does not need a chair, it's Becky Lynch. She doesn't need the goddamn chair to finish anybody. No. And so it was like, why the hell are you helping her? Like, and it would be different if, like, Liv was, like, just super fucking dominant in this match. Like, he was just attacking legs and arms, and just Becky was out of, like, options. Becky had several options, before the inevitable, I think it was like a DDT on the chair.
Yeah, so before he slides the chair, I did write down, Becky does a really cool superplex on Liv. That was a nice big spot. But yeah, Dom, as they're both down, Dom slides. He slides the chair. it's more towards Becky's side, but you could argue it's kind of in the middle. But Becky's like, I don't need this shit. Like, get out of here. Like, what the fuck are you even doing here? And yeah, Liv hits her with a DDT on the chair, fire DDT, which sets up the Oblivion, and now we have a new women's champion, and the Revenge Tour is finally, I think, over.
You
Or
think so?
almost
I
over.
think this is just beginning. I think she's taking the crew. She's
Yeah,
going
no,
to
yeah,
take the crew.
yeah. She still has to, she still has to take Dom, but it's pretty much over now.
There was
Rhea, Rhea's
the
gone.
Finn kind of like, Finn's getting out the same truck thing, that's been
Yeah,
spinning on the internet. Oof. I hope that with this time that she has the belt, that the writing and production for Liv is a lot better and cater to her strengths as like just being like a menace. Like I don't need Liv to go out there and give me like groundbreaking promos or nothing like that. I just need her to be like a devil behind the scenes. Maybe like sabotaging people's matches or really just planting like her poison inside the Judgment Day and pulling people out. I will say this about Liv. She has gotten phenomenally better in ring. This is one of the like Liv's best matches as far as like endurance wise. Like she was like, she didn't look as gassed. She was ready to go. Like she was hitting these spots. Like the pacing was great. Um, it was a good match for Liv. And I'm very interested in seeing like, what's the next step? Who's going to be the next to come after her?
Well, on
We
Raw,
did.
yeah, Becky says in her in an interview that she has a rematch clause.
She does.
So we're gonna get the rematch on Raw, and then, honestly, it's probably gonna end very similar. Dom is gonna do something to fuck it up for
Yeah.
Becky, thus causing Liv to retain, and then
So,
Becky might finally take that break that she was reportedly supposed to take.
and that's what I was thinking too when I was like watching this. And we don't know what Becky's like status is. We do know she was supposed to take that break, which I would assume would have been like the contract negotiation part of it, where you take some time, you're figuring out like your money side of it, talking to agents and shit like that. But to where now it's like her contract ends in, they said like June 1st. So it's like 6 days from now or something like that. So she is like on the line of like, contract expiring, but we've known from Precept they were on the line to signing him back as well. So don't think that like just because they haven't signed that they can't sign in the next couple of days. It can definitely fucking happen.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting moment to where like, what does Becky want to do? What's her angles and whatnot? Family is very important. I know traveling with a child will also be fucking insane to do. We do know that Seth's already there to where like I don't think that Becky would leave. And if she does, it's more so like, hey, I'm just going to kick it with the kid kind of thing. I don't think she's going to, the dub or E-dub or all AEW or whatnot. But I just think that's more so like on, let me just wind down, pay attention to my kid, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she's had
What's
a
your
crazy year.
thoughts on?
Yeah, no, I don't think she's going anywhere as far as going to a different promotion. If she did, that'd be super super crazy. And me, I like chaos. But I don't think she's going to go anywhere. Yeah, I think you're right. I think this might be just time to like, why not? Like, cause she's had a crazy year. She had the strep throat during Mania. She had a book come out. She was doing a whole book tour, hitting up different bookstores and talk shows for her book. And yeah, and then again, you have a kid. Your husband's injured too. So yeah, maybe she just wants to kick it at home, see her family in Ireland or whatever. But yeah, I don't think she's going anywhere. I think she just needs some downtime.
I think that like, in the same vein of, like a Mercedes or like a Mox or whatever, the reason that they left is just creatively like doing something different. And I don't know if Becky's bored. I don't know if she's, you know, bored with being or doing the same thing, running the same kind of gimmicks that eventually turn into like a pay-per-view match of some sorts and whatnot. Because she's been at the top of the mountain. You've seen what the light looks like. You were the man. You've had big time backs. Like you've had all these moments to where like, what do you want to do now is completely up to you, of course, but also like creatively, like, do you want to be, in a fucking death match? Like, I'm not saying she will, but I don't know. Becky is a wrestler though. She loves the game of wrestling. Like she's talked about that as well. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm leaning on the side of re-signing as well. But if she does not and the chaos does ensue, it would be fucking amazing just to see like everybody in a fucking frenzy. That's got like you. I also love sporadic chaos. From there, we get the triple threat between Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable. This match did everything I needed it to do. It was
Man, this match was
suplexes
heat.
everywhere. It was great. It was a great fucking match. Suplexes everywhere. There was, drama outside the ring. Like overall, it was just a good match. And I saw somebody on Twitter posted like triple threats are like they're the matches that like there's no bad triple threats. Like very rarely do you find a bad triple threat match. And I was thinking about, I was like, they might be right. Like there are some you could probably pull out a fucking right back triple threat match somewhere, and it's like, damn, this was bad. But like overall, you genuinely get like some really solid like triple threat matches. A la, fucking Gunther, fucking Sheamus, Drew, fucking banger.
Mm.
I love the Joe Hangman swerve. That was a good one to me. Like it's fucking Roman had one with it was Edge and Daniel. Like
Yeah.
that these are good triple threat fucking matches. You rarely find a bad one. And all these men showed the fuck out. One thing I will say that I noticed is that like with the addition of Bronson Reed in here, it did heighten my senses to where somebody needed to like take the pin in this, because they're definitely planning a longer story between Sami and Chad, to where you didn't want to waste the pin spot now. And I kind of sense that since they added Bronson Reed to it, like that he was going to take the pin, and it doesn't take anything away from that. But it just lets us know that the story between Sami and Chad is going to evolve. It's going to be a lot bigger. And I think going back on Chad losing, in hindsight, right now, it was the best move, because we're building something bigger for Chad. You can see it. It's the story. Chad is going to be a fucking
Yeah.
mid to high level like talent within the next year, I believe.
Yeah. In the crowd twice or three times now, the crowd have naturally added the "you suck" chants. Like they like he's gradually, like for years he's been known as, or labeled as like a baby Kurt, or a Kurt protege, whatever. But like to see the natural growth of the "you suck" chants happening, like yeah, it's like seeing a baby bird fly. It's cool to see that finally happen. And at first,
I think that like
and you're right, as far as like Chad's like growth, because I'll be transparent. Before the entrances, I was like, I kind of was like, Sami could lose this. He doesn't need to win this. But then I saw the entrance, I was like, yeah, this is his second hometown. That's not happening. He's gonna
absolutely
win.
not.
And also like his fit, his video package and his entrance was straight heat. Permanent ceasefire in Gaza, free Palestine, all that good shit. Sammy's that guy.
You feel me? 1000%.
Fucking, but yeah, the crowd was lit for this match. This was the one. This one in the Lyra Naya one, I actually was spot heavy writing down. Just because there was some really good shit in here.
There was.
But there's a lot of dope spots early in the match. We get a super power bomb. No, I'm sorry, a sunset power bomb that I think Sami did to Reed, or Chad did to Reed, one of them. We get a nice tope. There was a moment where Reed does a double fucking like Samoan drop on them. That shit was hot.
What, bro? This was the match of the doubles and triples, because there was a lot of those. There was a couple moments of like, it was like, what the fuck? These dudes are fucking freaks.
Yeah, there's a moment where fucking Sami tries to superplex Chad, and then Reed hits them with the power bomb off the top rope. That was fire. Fucking Sami does a dope ass tornado DDT, which on Reed, I think, and then that sets up Gable putting him in the ankle lock. or
Yep.
something, and then we get like a triple ankle lock for a hot
A triple ankle lock? Like, come on, bro. I love this. What are you talking about? This is amazing. A triple ankle lock? Yeah.
There's a moment where Reed goes for, I wrote down a tsunami moonsault just to give it a new flair. But I feel like I'd never seen him do the moonsault. I can't recall him ever doing it, and I don't know if that was like a shout out to Ivar or something. But he does a moonsault, and he misses, and then Chad comes out of nowhere with the moonsault to him. Like, this shit was fun.
Yeah.
Like, the chemistry and the pacing in this match was so fucking good.
It was.
Also, no weapons, rarely any interference. Like, there was only interference once, and I was at the very, very end. So yeah, there was literally no shenanigans. Like, it was just hands and
scraps.
Feet.
Yeah,
just real wrestling.
Yeah, the Blue Thunder bomb that he pulled off on Bronson Reed was fucking insane. Like, fuck, like, so that's good. Not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the double Samoan drop was fucking crazy. The triple ankle lock. There's the triple German suplex setup,
man,
where it's like, what are we doing? What, like, and the dope part about this is that Chad is the one lifting up both Bronson and Sami. So like, this man is also like, bro, you're a freak of nature, bro. Like, and they all sold it well. Like, man. This was, bro, this was just a good match. Like,
this is something to
put this one in the Sami like book of great matches. This was great.
After the after the suplex exchange and shit, this is when Chad tells Otis, like, this is your time now. This is the moment. This is the moment I was telling you. And Otis attacks Reed, but he hesitates to attack Sami. And Chad's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's like, wake up. And he slaps Otis. He's like, oh, well, you gonna do something? Listen to your coach. This is what I've been telling you to do. And he still hesitates, and it looks like he's about to finally, as Gable holds Sami, it looks like, similar a la to Goku holding Radix. Fucking
dead ass. Fucking Budokai 2, you're scrolling your fucking analogs.
Man.
Oh my god, I hated that game.
Otis goes for a clothesline. Sami ducks, and he hits Chad, which sets up Sami hitting Bronson Reed with a haluva kick. Sami retains, and then the whole time, as you see Sami celebrating, you just see Gable standing right in front of Otis, staring down. Bro, it's so fucking hilarious. it needs to be memed. He's just staring at him. It is so fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It shouldn't be that funny, but the way. I don't know why.
These ramifications definitely gonna be happening on Monday for sure.
But I thought Chad was so I'm sorry. So I thought Chad was gonna win this to set up him and Otis eventually for SummerSlam, which I think could still happen. And so that piggybacks off of what you said, like the reason why Chad didn't get pinned, because Chad and Sami can still have another match. And I think Gable will finally win this. Maybe at Clash of the Castle, and then we eventually see the Otis break off and become the baby face or something.
Because if there's anybody who also got robbed from pandemic, it would have been Otis as well. Otis needs the crowd to get himself like over. Like, that's a lot of his character is on crowd interaction and crowd reaction. I will go as far and say, like, oh, he should have definitely won Money in the Bank, because I was still like fucking confused with that. But Otis gets off on that, and so to see him now be pushed by the crowd as a babyface and whatnot, and not wanting to take like any of these hits and stuff like that, or don't take no shit from Chad. We're in for a good little story here. Well, Otis can get down too. Like, this is not anything different. Otis can definitely fucking wrestle. Shout out to the stakes and weights, baby.
Yeah, stakes and weights. My only nitpick or gripe, or just maybe confusion, is just the hesitation from Otis, because they were a heel tag team before. So I just don't know why are you so afraid to go step into the dark side again? Like, what? Like, I don't know. It's like
fair.
So if I'm Chad,
Um,
that'd be my argument. It's like we was a heel before, motherfucker. Like step into the dark side, bro. Like tap in, bro.
this is nothing new.
Yeah, similar to Candice
What
and
makes you
Indi.
want to be
Like
nice now?
yeah, it's time, bro. Like step in. But yeah, awesome as triple threat. You guys, if you haven't watched it, for sure watch it.
Definitely
This is
check that one out.
yeah,
Would
absolute
you say
fire.
match of the night?
For
But
me,
is it?
yes. For me, yes.
Yeah, I'm a double down. Match of King of the Ring is the triple threat between Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, Chad Gable for
And
sure.
that's no knock to any of the other matches because to me, honestly, every
Nah.
single match on this card was fire. Uh, yeah, I finished
Yeah,
watching. Yeah, every match was fire
yeah.
to me. Every match
Ooh,
blew.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
give you. It was 5 matches in the card. I give you 4.5.
the weakest match I would say is Becky and Liv. What would you? What would you? Okay, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for sure.
Okay.
Before you get into that, though, I do want to say one last thing about Chad is that I do like the fact that they're not shying away from the angle comparisons. Go into it, because the more you pull away from it, the more people are going to be like, "Why?" Like, it's already a natural thing. We see it. The Olympic gold medalist. We see the suplexes. The slight little nod at the Creed brothers joining him. We see it coming. And there's nothing wrong with that. If there's anybody that you could mimic, Kurt Angle is one of those ones that you should not feel any, hesitancy to pull from his bag. A lot in the sense of at one point in time, everybody was pulling from Lil Wayne. You can see Lil Wayne in like a whole generation of like rappers.
Mm-hmm.
They did it their own way, but you can definitely see the influence that person has. And I think that should be the same thing with like Chad and Kurt. Like you ain't got to mimic him 100%, but
No.
definitely pull some stuff and use that and just twist into your own.
Yeah, and the comparisons are they're not like crazy. It's not like a hot take. Like
Nah.
I mean, like sure they're both Olympians, but like they're both good on the mic and they're both really good on the ring, and they can do comedic stuff and they can do non-comedic stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's more than just being an Olympian, which is why the reason to why people compare them. It's more than just we have gold medals. Like no, like I mean, I would say Kurt was a different breed because like he got the rocket put on him immediately when he got up to the roster, but
And
Chad is finally
thrived.
and thrived, but yeah, Chad is finally with the given opportunities, he's finally gotten to his. I mean, he really got into his bag like 2 years ago, but now like he's starting to be rewarded with more time and shit like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
good shit.
Next match is Naya versus Lyra Valkyria.
Okay, real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So before that, we get a Jade Bianca promo. That was fine. But so after that, they have a moment where they show off the tag teams. They show off uh, A Town Down Under, the Street
Yeah.
Profits,
Profits.
DIY, and BFAB is with the Profits. And I need BFAB to get the same reps that Maxine has been getting, or they need to release her. And I'm saying
oof.
that in respect, and that's because like think about like what was it episode 3 or something when we talked about that Maxine match with Rhea, and I was like, you got to keep her off the TV, let her do house shows. You said keep her on TV, and what WWE did, they listened to both of us, and they met in the middle where she still got some more TV matches, but they were giving her a lot of house show shit. And if you look at Maxine just this last week, she looks so much fucking better. And that episode that we did was in February. That's just a couple of months. BFAB needs reps. She's like she doesn't do like she doesn't do anything. She's not the mouthpiece.
Okay.
She's just there, and I don't want her to be released. So give her something to do.
I disagree. I don't think that necessarily you need the reps or be released because I am also pro bring back managers. I think that she can thrive in the sense of like, you don't have to be an in-ring talent to also be effective. We've seen that with like Heyman. We see it with Stokes. Mark did it with Jade in AEW. Like you can still be effective with the team as like a manager. And I like the idea of her being the manager of, the Profits. I think that would be fucking great.
But she's not the
Um,
manager. She's not the
I
manager because
think that's
she's not
something
the.
looking like
She,
we can
that's
transition into.
that's
I
what.
think
Yeah,
that's where
that's what
my
I'm
head
saying.
is going, at least.
Yeah, she just needs something to do. If they're not going to, yeah, if they want to commit to manager, then yeah, she needs to be talking. That way, she gets mic reps. Either way, she needs reps and
Yeah.
some shit. Like if you do the manager route,
There
she
we
needs
go.
reps. She needs reps
That's
with the mic. If you want
overall,
to,
that's the
yeah,
point that we will agree on, is that she needs reps in whatever she's going to do. If you want to be in ring talent, she needs to get in the ring and start fighting some of these women. I remember there was a battle royal where she was in for a little bit,
yeah, it
but
was on
even then,
TV.
we didn't see anything. But now it's like, okay, if you're pairing yourself with Bobby and the Prophets and whatnot, and you're part of like the three of the group of the Pride, we got to figure out what the role is, and not saying we because they probably know, but
I don't
from
think
a
they do.
fan watcher,
Yeah,
from a fan perspective, we would like to see her active in some capacity, whether that is her talking on the mic or her in ring. Because I think BFAB also has a frame that you could use and she could wrestle. She's really long, definitely athletic. It's just more so on like what storylines or what angles do we place her in. They don't really do intergender like tag matches, so that's out of the window right there. Um, and so if that's the case, then she would have to be singles, and I don't want her to go singles just yet because then they're gonna be like, well, we don't have nothing for you. We're gonna release you. I don't want that. I
she
think
could do
as
some
if we can
singles at
keep
like
her,
NXT or something. Like have her go to NXT every other week. She needs reps because yeah, you're right. Like the SmackDown roster, like there's no one for her to tag with. Like with Maxine, she was tagging with Ivy Niles, or she has been.
right?
You know, but yeah, BFAB literally just sits there. So it's like, yes, either make her the manager, make her the mouthpiece, so she does all the talk or majority of the talking, or get her ass in the ring, because otherwise she's just standing there, and eventually she will be released. Because why are we paying you just to look good?
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't
Yeah, and
want that
I
at
don't want that
all.
either. But we just need to do something, otherwise that's what's going to happen.
And I hate to be like, well, she needs if she's going to wrestle, she needs somebody next to her who is very experienced to help her get through that. Similar to Jade and Bianca, or Jade, Bianca, Naomi. Like she needs the teacher, and she also needs to be comfortable with who she's working with. Um, and I just don't know where that position is right now. So for the time being, the manager role fits for me. I think we need to bring back wrestling managers. I like that. Like that. There's nothing wrong with being a manager. Managers make the character. Like the tribal
Yeah.
chief gimmick doesn't really get off if Heyman's not doing it. It may get off, but I don't think it gets off as much as it would without Paul Heyman.
Yes, and Paul Heyman is a legend. Like, yeah, I'm fine with the manager role. I don't want roles in wrestling overall to die or nothing like that. And but yeah, so if they want her to be manager, then commit to it. Like, yeah, they just need to commit to
Absolutely.
something. That's it. But all right,
Um,
I just wanted to get that off because yeah, I saw it. I'm like, dude, because Maxine looks so much better now than what she did in February, and that's because she has been getting reps on house shows and on TV. But B Fab, she doesn't get anything. And battle royales don't necessarily. I don't count those because you don't
I don't
really.
count that. Yeah,
You don't like. You don't have to do shit in a battle royal. Like unless you're in the final two, final three spot, you don't have to really do shit. So it's not. That's not a rep really.
yeah.
It's
It's also
just
more
TV
so
time.
on on the producers and the writers and the
Yeah.
people making the matches and shit like that. Like as much as we want, as much as we put the pressure on BFAB, is also on the people who run the fucking business to also like give her these opportunities. So yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
the
WWE,
higher
you got to
ups,
do
H
something.
and Levesque or WWE and Khan, and let's figure out something for BFAB. Uh, the Nia Lyra match. Before we get into the details of that match, I will say I think the formula for the King and Queen of the Ring was grabbing the biggest heel and the biggest baby face. After going through like the people that was in it and me just watching both the matches that happened this PLE, yeah, Nia's the biggest heel for sure, and Lyra becoming the fresh baby face. She was the freshest baby face in this whole like Queen of the Ring tournament, at least in my thoughts. And then on the men's side, Randy is that man's always going to be a baby face. If the people fucking love him no matter where he goes, and Gunther is the biggest heel. And this kind of like I bring this up to say that like my initial thought was, uh Jay Tama, and it's like that wouldn't have got the reaction of a Randy Gunther. Similar to like, Io versus Nia doesn't get the same reaction as, you know, a Lyra versus Nia. You got to take the biggest of both, you know, paradigms and like throw them into the ring.
What I like
With
about
that being said,
real quick, what I really
go
like
ahead.
about both of the tournaments is if you go from the very beginning, if you just look at the bracket as a whole before any of the matches start, there were some storylines that we could predict, and
Mm-hmm.
like it was the way that they set up the bracket and the talent that they chose. It literally could have been anyone. Like if you look at all the women's side, like my first pick of who would have been the finals would not have been Lyra versus Nia. I would have been like Io Bianca, Io Jade, like just so many other routes that they could have went. And same with the men, like because we talked about it, like, oh, are they going to finally give us Tama versus Jay, which sets up more bloodline shit, or is that too
Right.
soon? Then like Gunther versus Randy, like that could be a fucking mania match. You know, like just like there's so many different like the way that they set up the brackets and the talent that they chose. It was it was it was unpredictable, and that's like this tournament on both ends was really really good.
I think the women's side, I think the women's side was more unpredictable than the men's because I had Nia going just because of what she's been doing. But as far as like the Raw side of the women's, I had no idea. And then on the men's side, uh, clearly had no idea because, you know, I've said, oh, they're going to do like the Jay versus Tama thing. And that completely blew out the fucking water. So, on the men's side, definitely unpredictable. I had no idea what they were doing. But on the women's side, I knew Nia was going to be in it. I just didn't know who she was going against. And I think I mentioned that too. Like, I don't know what the storyline was for the women's, you know, King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring. But yeah, overall, the match was great. This is my second favorite match. I think the triple threat was my first. I think second was this one here.
Yeah, I really like this
Um,
match too.
and Nia is just going. She's going crazy. Like she's showing she's dominant. It was a powerhouse just fest. For a moment there, she was trying to like keep up with the pace of Lyra, and then it was like, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm just about to be me.
Yeah,
And
it was a good David versus Goliath type match.
absolutely.
And they both look real comfortable. I mean, this is Lyra's fourth, fifth like main roster match, and comparing her last two, comparing this match, this and the EO match versus her first two matches since she's joined Raw. Again, like you see
Yeah.
the growth, you see the comfortability, like you saw, like she looked so much better than what she did her very first week on Raw.
Yeah. And a lot of this match was, it felt like, once again, one of those welcome to the league moments. Like, you got here, proud of you, but there's a different bag here. Similar to the Randy Carmelo match. Like, you got here, proud of you, but we got to put these paws on you. And that's just how I felt the entire match. I like that because it's not that we don't believe in you yet, but we've been doing this for a little bit longer. This ain't NXT. And that was very much apparent. There was Samoan drops, like Nia was getting in her bag today
Yeah,
or yesterday.
there was a moment where she goes for the finish and Lyra moves. So then Nia's like, "Fuck it, I'll do it while you're on the apron." And then Lyra moves again, and I thought she was going to do the my whole bit like she did during the
Because
pandemic.
yeah.
But no, she still screamed, and it reminds me of that meme, which I hope someone adds to it, because that scream was fucking hilarious. Like someone should add the Tom and Jerry scream to it. Yeah, it was good shit, man. Lyra does a really cool reversal on the outside when Nia tries to slam
the
her.
bulldog.
Turns into a
Yeah.
bulldog or a face buster, something. It was fucking sick. Lyra also hits a really dope tornado DDT and does a double stomp to Nia while she's in the tree of woe. That was a good spot, but nothing but a 2 count. Then the ending of the match is literally the best part.
Chef's kiss.
Honestly, I would not take this move. Yeah, I think this is what you were talking about. Like this is you got to get these paws and feet if you really want to be on the big league. Because even on some freak man shit, I'm not taking this move. Like, so Nia tries to go for the avalanche Samoan drop. Then we get Lyra tries to reverse it, turns it and turn it into a sunset powerbomb, but she can't get the leverage, and then Nia hits the Annihilator just like that, and it looks so damn devastating. It looks so painful. And the fact, I'm surprised we haven't gotten any Mortal Kombat like X-ray memes yet on it, because
that's definitely a one.
Her sternum and clavicle should be gone. Like, I'm not taking it.
And it's like also the selling of it. It's like when she sold it too, she's dead. Like you're just like, oh shit, is she okay? Because that was the force of it. It looked insane, yo. Like that was a great fucking spot. That's probably like the best I've seen anybody take Nia's finisher. And the most that was the first oh shit moment I had with Nia. I was like, oh shit, nigga, like that looked like that shit look crazy.
Flattened her.
And it was a dope pin too. The whole like I saw the comparison like the Yokozuna like arms cross pin, like that was fucking fly to me. Like I love that.
Yeah, seeing that side by side was heat.
That shit was fucking clean.
Yeah, so Nia wins. Triple H, she bends the knee as Triple H gives her the crown. They hug. They hug a little bit before that, and you can see the emotion on her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's crying. And shout out to her MUA, because that makeup didn't smear a smidge. So shout out to her makeup artist, because her face was beat. I don't know if that's still the term, but her face card was she had a good face card. I'm trying to relate to the youth, but no, she looked great. The makeup didn't smear. You can tell she was a little emotional, but she fucking deserves it, and she deserves this win.
Absolutely,
really good. Like she has been absolutely tremendous since she's been back.
Yeah, it was very much deserved. Like I said, she won. I'm happy. I've been asking for this for the past like 2, 3, maybe even 4 episodes now, and like. I'm okay with it. You know, I was kind of like interested why Nia didn't get the chip in the Battle Royal that when Becky did. But now this all makes sense. I'm okay with it. You just got to pay attention. You can be frustrated when when it happens, but if the result comes out at the end, I'm all good because she's going to be Queen of the Ring, and I would assume that this carries over, and it does carry over into SummerSlam. We find out a little bit later. Yeah. And she's going to be Queen for the year. So yeah, let's just get it. I like it. Let's get on this Nia train. Because I think that's a good train to be behind right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be her versus Bayley, unless Bayley loses it to someone, and then someone else loses it to, because Nia is a heel, so it's going to be heel versus face, right? So,
absolutely.
And Bayley and Nia have some heaters, but this version of Nia and this version of Bayley are 30 times better than what they were in NXT in early
completely
Raw.
Different.
So this match should be some fucking heat.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Now we get the Gunther Ring General versus Randy Orton for the men's finals of the King of the Ring. Once again, Randy's over as fuck.
Yeah, the crowd singing his song a little bit. Again, no one has done what France has done, but Saudi, they were close. They were better than all the other cities thus far since France.
Better than the Americas?
Yeah.
How could you say that? Yeah, Saudi was fucking going crazy, man. Like they did a good job. You can feel it. You can feel the energy of like they love Randy Orton, and rightfully so. Randy Orton's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
We think of Gunther, and he's also just over. Like, man, I was one of the ones where like he didn't need to be in the finals because he's already that guy. But just now, now it puts him like in a whole different bag, bro. Like he was wrestling his ass off. I didn't think Randy was going to take any chops in this match.
Man.
And Randy getting chopped the fuck up.
Yeah, so the match starts off with them just kind of like feeling each other out and shit. But when he took that first 2-3 chops, bro, he was hearing those voices, and those voices like, "Let me get the fuck out this ring, bro."
For sure. I was watching that shit, and I was like, you know how like you see like fans take chops at like the meet and greets and shit like that. And I was like, that's not some shit I would do with Gunther. Like. First off, a black man getting chops, just bare chest, is fucking crazy to me. But also, like, to be willingly to say, you know what, you chop the fuck out of me. Hell nah, bro. Every time he chops somebody, he leaves a bruise, a handprint, an imprint, nothing. Like it's like I don't want no parts of that, bro.
Yeah, you don't leave the same. You do
everybody.
Not leave the way you came in.
And then you be thinking like, damn, they selling hella good. You know, they selling these chops hella. But it's like, no, bro, this shit hurt. They ain't selling. That is pain, bro.
Yeah, you ain't got to sell the chop. That's real.
Nah.
Whatever. That shit is real.
That is 1,000% real.
It's one of those things you think wrestling's fake? All right, bet. Take this chop. Take the chop.
Take it. You thought this is fake? All right, hold on. Stand right there. Nigga.
Yeah.
The fuck? Dope match. They get into like some real graps. There's a couple power slams in this match. That's just fucking insane. They're playing off of like, you know, early they played off like Randy's back and he just had the surgical repair back. Once again, I'm not a fan of that, but like it is what it is. They then start focusing on like the limbs. Because
he has a
Gunther's working on like the upper. He works on like his upper like chest area, upper shoulder area, and then you see like Randy's leg like give out. And this is the second time where like in story the refs pointing out like Randy's leg, like, "Are you okay? You good? Like, can you stand?" And it's like, nigga, relax.
And then they're like, you can see the knee is taped up more.
Yeah, it's like, how many more hints do we fucking need? And I get it, it's all story, and you want it to make sense so that people can pay attention. Because, you know, the more references that you get of a spot, exactly.
And people are stupid.
The more references of a spot of an injury or something in like the match, it makes sense. So you can go home like, yeah, he attacked Randy because his knee was fucked up. But yeah, he gets out of Randy's limbs throughout this match, just targeting, you know, piece by piece, which is also just very surgical from Gunther. I do love that about his wrestling style. One of the spots I will say in this is that this motherfucker gets on the ropes. Yeah. Gunther is flying off the ropes. Yeah, he slips. He slips and still makes it look good. Like,
yeah,
the motherfucker. JBL has his term, wrestling god. Like, he is that, man. Like, fuck, bro. Like,
yeah, he is.
You can have it your way. Whatever way you want to get beat, he can give it to you like that. Pause.
Yeah, it's fine. Like he's literally won a different way every single match in this tournament.
Like
we like us and the internet community, like we joke about it, but he fuck what 2K says. He has no finisher. It's whatever he's feeling. It's whatever he feels like.
Get Gunther in the Burger King commercial. Have it your way, because that's exactly what he's gonna do. Like whatever you want, that's how he's gonna give it to you. Yeah, just a solid match from Gunther. Also solid match from like Randy as well, because like Randy's like, of course, paying attention to selling these spots and like the his powerful like suplex that he does, that he always does. He gets one of those off and he like sells like, you know, the knee tweak and whatnot. He goes for an RKO early in this match and tries to get him. A Gunther's like, fuck that nigga. Like, you ain't about to hit me with that shit.
No, I watched the tape. But after Gunther tries to do a second attempt at the splash, that's when we get that first RKO. And then,
it's mean.
Man, it's mean. But yeah, due to the knee, Randy can't make the pin in time. And by the time he tries to make the pin, Gunther's ring awareness, which I think it was Cole. It was either Cole or fucking Graves, but they mentioned ring awareness multiple times, and it's like, okay, I guess, but again, whatever. But yeah, he tries to go for the pin, but his ring awareness, you know, that veteran mentality, he rolled out of the ring before Randy could attempt the pin.
Right.
Then we get the couple table slams that Randy does to Gunther. Then Gunther continues to work the knee. He goes for another RKO, which he does land, but again, they're like, oh, because of the knee, he couldn't really get the leverage to do it, and he couldn't really land on it. And then as he was going for the pin, you see Gunther like slaps his knee, and which sets up.
This is the only part I didn't like. This is the only part of the match I did not like because the shoulder wasn't down. If you look at the pin, he gets one shoulder down, but the other shoulder's like all the way fucking up. So it was like okay. And even Corey was like, I need to get a good look at that, like, you know, that pin. Like, let's get another look at that. And I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, I love the execution of the move. It was just the shoulder being up that I didn't like. And that seems like, I don't know if you can play off of it because both of these superstars on 2 different shows, so it doesn't really matter.
They might be able to, but it seems like Triple H, because during they didn't have a scrum or press thing, but after the show, Triple H is like, yes, we saw it, but ref's decision is final. Gunther is your king of the ring. So there's there's a chance they just nipped out of the bud, or they could play onto the story. I don't know. Maybe fucking Randy shows up on Raw and RKO's him out of nowhere or something. They could, or I don't know. They could play onto it. Maybe Aldis and Pierce are like, fuck what H said. We want to give them a rego for it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as of right now, Gunther is, regardless of that one shoulder being super all the way up, the ref's decision is final according to Paul Levesque, and Gunther is our king of the ring.
So now, I believe after this match, this is where we get the announcement that like the King and Queen of the Ring winners get a shot at the title at SummerSlam, at the respective titles at SummerSlam. So now we are going to get Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Like that's looking like the trajectory of what's going to happen here.
Assuming Drew doesn't win a Clash in the Castle.
That too.
And that's also assuming, again, because if they want to try to make this the shoulder being up a storyline, because I thought Randy was going to win this so that we get Randy and Cody for SummerSlam, because there's a whole lot of history that they can do with that. And maybe they do a swerve to where, they have a rematch for this King of the Ring shit and Randy wins. Or we do get Gunther versus Priest or Drew, depending on if Drew wins at Clash of the Castle. Because after this match, Triple H announces that Drew is cleared. And so June 15th, Clash of the Castle, we are getting Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight title.
Okay. And so like with this, I expect some kind of Punk interference. I don't think Drew's winning the title here. I think the story with Punk still continues. I think as far as like Gunther goes, I would want to see them run this back at Berlin in August. Gunther Randy again, and that one be like the clean finish. Like I don't need to cheat. I don't need this one shoulder up. I will dog walk him and I will pin him clean. And I think that would be a great part of like the storyline as well. I just don't know what we do in between because SummerSlam is in the end of August or is the beginning of August. I know both PLEs are in August.
August 3rd.
Let me take a look here. SummerSlam.
I think it's August 3rd.
SummerSlam is August 3rd, and then the Bash in Berlin is like August 31st, I believe. Yeah. So I don't know. Do we think Gunther wins at SummerSlam?
No. I mean, if Bash in Berlin is after it, have him win there. Have him lose on some bullshit, and then he gets the rematch in his home country, and he wins. I don't know. That seems like the most predictable way to book it.
It is,
or you have him win at SummerSlam, and his first title defense is at home
in Berlin, which would be fucking crazy. I do hope that they bring back this year for like Survivor Series a champion versus champion. And if that's the case, we will get Gunther versus Cody. And I think that would be a fucking banger. Like, that would just give it to me. I need that. I think that would be, you don't have to wait till Mania. We can do the champion versus champion in that match. I think they will get down pretty fucking well. From there, the main event of the match of the PLE is Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. And when you were talking about the all matches were great, this is the match where I was like, ugh, I don't know. One timing, just time. I think this match could have been a little bit shorter. I think it was like 20 some minutes. I would have took like 15. Yeah. They are positives to this match, and I will tell you what they are. But overall, I just think that
they could have cut like 5.
I don't know.
10 minutes. I agree with
that.
I
think that it's kind of like it's similar to the vein of when we talked about fucking Ospreay Danielson and following that up. Like, the match before was a good fucking match. Randy and Gunther had that bitch fucking rocking. Like, it was fucking great. And then I was like, "Phew, I'm on this high." And it's Logan Paul and Cody. And not saying Cody's not great. It's the Logan Paul side of it, which I feel doesn't really need the 20 minutes. It can be the 15. If this was Logan or if this was fucking Cody AJ again, I'm cool. I know they're gonna give me like the necessary like moments to fill that void. Overall, I will say this about this match is that the storyline before was that Logan wasn't a wrestler. Like Logan was, you're just here visiting, you've done your job, give us back the belt, go home kind of thing. Logan was actually wrestling this match. There was like some octopus, holds that he was doing. There's power slams in this. Like Logan was fucking wrestling. He was showing you that like in the little bits of storytelling that like, oh, I am a wrestler. I can give you these grabs just like anybody else. I'll just mix in, my Logan Paul other shit. As far as like, Cody, he looks great. We got another glimpse of like angry Cody in this match. So Cody's out there looking frustrated, similar to the vein of like in Mania, maybe not to that extent, but we definitely got a more aggressive Cody against Logan. I like that a lot. One of the spots I really love was the vertebreaker. Like,
yeah, that vertebreaker was cool.
That's a hard move to pull off. It's a very like hard move to keep somebody safe in. And I'm really excited to see like that Cody was able to execute that perfectly. I think even like Helms was on Twitter. It was like this was perfectly executed. Like this was.
And I think he was the producer. Low key, I think he might have.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, before that spot, there was a moment where Cody hits Logan in the head with a prime bottle after Logan was just drinking out of it. I like that shit. I popped at that. That shit was hilarious to me. Of course, Logan still uses brass knucks, which Michael Cole calls it. Yeah, Michael Cole calls him out. He calls him a loser, and like fucking Logan's like, "What the fuck you say to me?" And like Corey Graves have to like stand in front and like protect him. I was like, "Oh shit, is Corey finally cleared? Maybe we get a Corey match." Yeah, I don't think.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. But no, that was a like cool spot. We get a dope Cody cutter. We get two dope Cody cutters. We get a Cody cutter in the ring that was really good. Logan hits Cody with the crossroads, which was dope, which was cool.
In my notes, I was like, Logan, like Cody gotta stop letting niggas hit him with his own move. This is getting disrespectful at this point.
But
within a month span.
Yeah, he didn't lose off of it because like Roman said,
he didn't. Who sucks? No, nobody went off this.
Can't win off this. That's the first thing
that came
off
this.
That's the first thing that popped in my head as soon as he did it.
Oh man, that's great.
We get a Cody cutter. We get a Cody cutter on the table, announce table outside. That was a cool spot. Which at that moment the ref is counting. Cody slides in the ring, and as the ref hits 9, ref Ryan, Cody's like, no. He stops the count. He's like, no, don't count him out. I gotta beat him in this ring. I gotta beat him. He needs to learn a lesson. He taught, which
boy gotta get these hands.
Yeah, which I'm okay with, But Cody leaves the ring, and he gets hit with the one lucky punch without the knucks. He gets knocked out, and then so Logan puts Cody on the announcer table, and he does the frog splash that we've seen him do from the ring to the announcer table. This time we get a crazy ass drone shot.
The drone shot, yeah.
That shot was awesome.
I'm 50-50, right? Because I understand what the drone shot was. It's creatively wise, it's great. Like nobody's ever done a 360 drone shot in the ring at all. So for like being the first of its kind, very fucking dope. From the element of like watching it, I was like, damn it, we're doing this theatric shit. This ain't gonna get up. Like hurry up and fucking do this fucking movie before this man like gets the fuck up. Cause like the drone spins around him for a good slow fucking pan. He's sitting with the prime bottle. It's making like this big like almost commercial-esque feeling of it. And then he hits a frog splash, which was perfectly fucking executed. So I love that aspect of it. But the drone shot, it was like, I get it. It's a moment. You were making a moment here. And he even came out and like posted on Twitter that he had talked about doing the spot like a year ago. which is dope that like we're seeing like those visions come to life, like creatively wise, and they're like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's do the fucking drone shot. So I'm on the edge. It was dope, but I feel indifferent about it.
Okay. Um, okay, so after that drone shot, Cody or Logan does a second frog splash. Cody kicks out. Somehow the ref gets knocked down, or at some point, and then we get that vertebreaker, which was fucking awesome. And yeah, the ref is down, so Logan low blows Cody. He pulls out the knucks. He's setting up for the punch, and then the guest announcer, whose name I did not write down because there's no way I was going to be able to pronounce it. More than likely, um, he distracts Logan. And he's like, no, like he grabs his leg. Logan's like, who even are you? Which, you know, and he goes for the punch, but Cody catches it. Which this was a callback to earlier in the match where Cody does the one move where he like falls on the ground and punches dude in the face, and Logan catches it and say, "I'm Logan Paul, bitch."
Mm-hmm.
So this is a callback because Logan catches the punch with the knucks and says, "I'm Cody Rhodes, bitch," and then he hits him with the super finisher, 3 crossroads, and then it's the win. Cody wins. Cody
Do you
retains.
think that 3 crossroads was warranted? The last time we seen it was Roman.
Yeah.
And I thought that was something strictly like, okay, I got to knock out the tribal chief. I got to give him 3 of these motherfuckers. Do you think that like that was warranted for, this for Logan Paul? Or because I seen it in 2 different ways. I see it in the way of like, I'm about to put this motherfucker out. Like, I'm going to give him 3 crossroads. I'm tired of your shit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I also see it on the aspect of like, you do 3 to put down a very difficult opponent. So how do you feel about that?
I think it goes both ways. And I would say it's warranted because is he the super strong opponent on Roman's caliber or Roman's level? No, but he is also a champion, so it gives credibility to him because he's a champion and it took him 3 crossroads, but it probably didn't need to take 3 crossroads because he just beat AJ with one, last month or whatever. But in the sense because Logan is a champion, and also in the sense because again, like Cody's like, I want to teach him a lesson. He literally stopped the ring count. I think it was fine. I thought it was fine. It makes sense, especially because this man lied 3 times saying he's not going to use the knucks. He's used the knucks. He hit him with the knucks earlier in the match in the ribs. Get that ass whooped. And you frog smashed me through a table. Yeah, no, you can get 3 crossroads.
I got you with brass knuckles and put through a table. Yeah, I'll hit 3 of these on you. Yeah. Overall, like I said, this was the match that I wasn't too sure about, like just because of like the time that it took. But it was still a good match. Don't get it twisted. I'm not like bashing it. I do have my reasons for what I dislike, and I try to explain that. But overall, the premium live event was a good event. I felt like, if you're watching it, like no time was wasted. I feel like everybody got like a good, either a conclusion to the story or the story's opening up again. We got some stuff to look forward to in the future as far as like, what Liv's going to do. Priest versus Drew, Gunther's future title shot. There's a lot of open-ended questions here. And I think they succeeded in keeping our attention for sure. But yeah, that's the show, people. That's King and Queen of the Ring. Out of 5 stars, what do you give?
I'd say 4.5. I think every match was at least 4 stars. I mean, I don't like to do stars, but every match was good. Like you said, there's like it cooled some stories down, or and cooked and started some new ones. Every match was good. The crowd was into it. There was good spots. It didn't feel like there was no time wasted. It didn't feel like anything was filler. Wasn't a whole lot of backstage segments either, so not a lot of talking.
Nope, I love that shit.
It was wrestling.
Yes. I agree. I think a 4.5 stars from the Wave themselves. The Monday Night Wave gives 4.5 stars to King of the Ring 2024. Next episode, we'll be getting into Double or Nothing. So look out for that. That's going to be a good episode, just like this one was a good episode. And we will see you in the next one. Peace out.
Too sweet.